Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I have a special guest. Well, she's not so special because she's been on my channel. In today's video, it's gonna be a little different, more of a serious topic. You guys probably know what we're talking about based on the title of this video.
We've been talking about doing a video on this topic for like a year now, but we weren't really ready to talk about it. But now that we've surpassed a year, we've gotten a little comfortable, gathered our thoughts together, figured out what we would want to talk about, and also we kind of want to use this as a way for us to express our feelings and also help other people who may have been in the same situation or are currently in the same situation.
Like for me, I personally wanted to talk about, how to deal with grief and how we are dealing with grief after the loss of our mom. I get so many messages from so many of my followers, both people who I know, people who I don't know, like on a daily basis. And I always get DMs asking a variety of questions. And first, there's one thing that I do want to say. I'm so grateful for all the kind people who just constantly check up on me. It actually blows my mind how kind strangers are. I've had so many strangers reach out to me, expressing their condolences and just that I'm on their mind. And it's just crazy to me and it really touches my heart. I was doing a Q&A on my stories, my IG stories, and I had put up a question bubble asking for, topics to talk about, and one of the most the top requests was, if you feel comfortable, would you mind talking about, how your experience with grief, because there are a lot of you guys who are on the same boat as us. I want this video to seem like you guys are listening to your friend talk to you. The first thing that I want to tell you guys is, whether you've been through it or whether you haven't been through, the loss of a loved one, is every single human being grieves differently. I grieve differently, she grieves differently, my brother grieves differently, my dad grieves differently, and I'm sure if you've been through the same thing, you probably grieve differently too. There's no set structure on how you're supposed to grieve. Just let yourself grieve naturally and let yourself feel.
I came across a couple of videos regarding the same topic on YouTube. I just wanted to know, are other people feeling the same way I am, right? Is how I'm feeling, is it normal, right? So I watched it. I felt some sort of relief that there are other people out there that feel just the same way, they feel like they have a hole in their heart or some sort of loss, or they feel down, and there's different phases that you go through. I just felt I had someone else that...
comfort.
Yeah, some sort of comfort. It's not comfort, they lost someone.
No,
whatever,
comfort in knowing that someone can relate to you.
Yeah. When I watched those YouTube videos, I felt normal. I didn't feel I was reacting any differently or my emotions were any different. I felt normal after seeing videos. So part of the reason why I suggested this to her is because I wanted given the current situation, a lot of people lost loved ones due to the pandemic and stuff. I just thought it's the most appropriate time to talk about it.
I don't know if you could relate, but I just felt that first week, honestly, it was just very traumatic. Not even my mom passing, but just everything to follow. Our culture, certain things that happen in our culture and certain things that people would say. It was such a traumatic experience for me that I felt I couldn't feel. At some points, I felt so numb and just confused, and I couldn't understand my feelings. The moment we stepped into this house, coming back from the hospital, just the traditions and certain things that we had to do and were expected to do. We were expected to go downstairs and greet people. And in my head, it was just why are we greeting people when we just lost somebody in our family? It just didn't make any sense to me.
It makes you dread the whole experience. Usually when you're upset and stuff, you kind of want to be in your own space, in your own room. You want to let out emotions to yourself. You just want to be in, you want to keep to yourself. The way that death is kind of commemorated in our culture, it's you can't be that person. You can't be that person that's curled up in your bed, in your room, crying. You just can't. No one allows you to do that. It's you're supposed to be out there showing your face, letting everyone know, okay, you're the child of the person that passed. You're supposed to be greeting everyone at the door, every single person that walks into your house. You also have to escort them out. You have to sit there and you have to hug every single person, receive kisses from them. You just basically don't get your own space during this whole process.
Even during my mom's funeral, I still remember I was standing at the casket with you guys, you and Aaron.
Yeah.
And I was literally told to sit down so that other people can come see my mom. all I could think, like, obviously I did it. I just moved. I sat back down. But in my head, it's like, these are the people that are coming to see my mom after X amount of years and are never going to care to, like, think about her again. This is my mom. Why am I being told to sit down when this is my mom? There were so many little things like that that really pissed the living shit out of me during that entire process. And it's like, it's so messed up.
Like, we would regularly debrief
with our cousins.
Yeah, with our cousins. Like, we would vent, like, who pissed us off.
It
like,
was
let me
just
tell you
so
the biggest
weird.
thing that pissed me off. They'll walk in, they'll, like, you know, uppari veka, like, alle and whatever, like, cry and whatever, and then it's just like, they don't even go, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. Like, the first thing they need to ask is, oh, like, what happened?
Oh my god. Like, oh my god. This is one thing that I just desperately wanted to talk about, because this is probably the thing that pissed me off the most. And all I could think about was, how can humans be so freaking disrespectful? You're talking about people that showed up to your house. I'm talking about people, like, on social media.
Oh yeah, I can
just
talk
people
about that too.
who I've known that I'm not really close with. This is just a disclaimer. I'm not trying to offend anyone. You absolutely do not have the right to ask someone who just lost a loved one what happened or how did they pass. No one should have to be put in a uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, where they have to tell that story.
To have to talk about. It's so effed up that people even think they have the right to ask that. This is the thing. If you're going to message someone and say, hey, just sending my prayers. Oh, hey, my condolences. And the next thing that follows is, oh, by the way, out of curiosity, what happened? Or how did she pass? Your condolences and prayers just flew out the window, because it just does not seem genuine. By you asking, hey, what happened? You need to realize that's making us relive the traumatic experience that we just went through. You're having us think about, oh shoot, okay, now I have to re-explain to you what just happened, and you are absolutely nobody to me. Like, I had so many strangers, like, I can't even count the number of strangers that messaged me and felt the need to ask me that. What I'm trying to say, it just blew my mind, because that's something that I would never do. Our cousins and our close friends, that's one thing. Those are people that are in our immediate circle that know everything that's going on. Like, that, I'm not even referring to them. I'm talking about complete strangers that don't know me.
Like acquaintances.
Or acquaintances, people that, like, I know but are not in my life. You do not have a right to do that. And please, like, just take it as advice. Just as someone who felt disrespected, you will disrespect someone if you feel like you could ask that question. You can't. You shouldn't. All you should be doing is offering your support and your prayers, whatever you need to do to, you know, make them feel a little better, even though, no offense, it's not going to make them feel better because they just lost a loved one. Do not follow that with, oh, hey, out of curiosity, what happened? That's not okay. Yeah, it's not okay. It's so disrespectful. And no offense, I've lost a lot of respect for people who have asked me that question. Like, what are you gonna get out of knowing what happened? Why do you feel that your curiosity is so much more important than us, you know, grieving the loss of a loved one? It makes me so angry. The Tamil aunties and uncles that came in running, asking whatever. Like,
I'm so tired. Like,
yeah,
I
just
hate it.
Pretty much like, what happened? How did it happen? We got asked the 5 W's from every single person that walked into our house. Like, it was so freaking annoying.
And this is exactly why I prefer to stay upstairs in my room, because I didn't want to see people. Like, I was literally so tired of people.
And the weird thing about, like, Tamil people, they want you to cry. They want you to, like, let it all out in front of them. Do you guys
know what uppari is? It all irritates you.
They want you to, like, force it out. And yeah, it's like, I've let all the possible, like, every single droplet of water is already outside my body. I have nothing more to give.
Till this day, I feel like I didn't let out my maximum amount of tears for Amma's funeral. I feel like I kept a lot of it trapped inside because of how I felt about all these other things that were happening.
Yeah, it was, like, so distracting, you guys. Like, so many things irked the living shit out of us.
Like, we couldn't even speak up because, like, to be honest, I'm just like, oh my god, like, Amma didn't raise us like that, so I'm not gonna go,
like, it would be disrespectful to our mom if we, like, spoke up to people that we didn't like.
Yeah, like how they, like, commemorate death is just, like, it's just so unfortunate for the family, the immediate family that has to deal with it. Like, I just feel like it was a longer process for us to get through it because of that. Like, that first month especially, like, we didn't even get to grieve.
In our culture, like, after someone passes, you do a whole bunch of like rituals and stuff for a full month. up until the 30th day, you do stuff. So we were surrounded by so much family, so many friends in that month. And then the moment that 31st day hit and everyone went home,
we felt it.
We really felt it.
Yeah.
Like, we felt so lonely. And like, I was warned by people who have been through the same thing. Like, oh, you know, you have a lot of family. Like, it's going to hit you. Like, not now. It's going to hit you a little later. It hit us. And that's the part that I didn't like. Like, I just wish I had space from the get-go, because it made it that much harder. It's like, I loved being around my family members, like my extended family and like my cousins and everything, and just for everyone to just disappear. Like, obviously everyone has to move on with their lives. We're so lucky and grateful to have had 2 aunts that lived with us for 30 days.
Yeah, like my mom's sisters, they slept over for a whole month.
And they literally left their families behind for us, and not many people do that. So we're obviously very grateful for that, but we got so comfortable that it felt really lonely. Like, specifically after they left.
Like, how we should have felt, like, right after my mom passed away, we felt like that, like, 30 days after.
Well, you also had to go home.
See, that's the thing. That was like one thing that kind of like concerned me and made me feel more nervous, because like every single person that came was like, oh, you're now the new mom. You're the mom, because I'm the eldest, right? Like, they just kept putting that responsibility and pressure on me, and I think I was so overwhelmed that I have to take on that new duty, right?
Yeah. So but I also felt that pressure because I'm now the only female that lives in this house, and obviously I feel like it's common in every household. The female kind of runs the household with, you know, just the regular, like, duties and activities, like cooking, cleaning, all that stuff. It's like my mom she literally spoiled us. Everyone knows my mom's a really, really good cook. So, and that's something that kept, like, that was a recurring, like, topic that came up, like, oh, we're not going to have her food. Like, just to think that I'm never going to be able to eat from her hands. And sometimes I'll make her feed me too. It really upset me. But, like, my dad really took us, me and Aaron, to surprise that my dad actually was able to replicate a lot of the things that my mom cooked.
Yeah.
But, yeah, as I was saying, like, I felt a lot of pressure because I'm now the female in this house. And so a lot of adults that came in, it's like, oh, like, you know, you have to make sure you take care of your brother. You have to make sure you take care of your dad. I felt like I had to grow up.
Yeah.
Like, in such a... I'm an adult. But what I mean by grow up is take on so much more responsibilities that I wasn't prepared for.
Like, that's the way I guess you could put it. Like, once you lose your parent, you just grow up a lot faster. For us, because
you have no
for us it happened at a decent age where...
But you can't really say decent
not
age.
Decent, like not
at the
decent.
End of the day, no matter if you're 10, 20, 30, 40, everyone needs their mom.
No, like that's not what I mean. I mean, like, you know, I know some people that lost their parent when they were in elementary school or high school. Like, they were at a different phase in life. Like, we're in a phase in life where we kind of have some sort of, like... Understanding, okay, you know? We're able to truly feel every single sort of emotion and be conscious of what's happening or what to do about it. Like, if it happened when we were a kid, who knows if we would actually feel, like, the real loss, because we may be clueless, right?
Yeah.
I meant in that sense. So I guess that's why we're understanding of each other. Like, we're able to provide each other that type of comfort because I guess we're at that age where we're more understanding of it.
I feel like we also, like, the three of us got a lot closer after my mom passed. As sad as that sounds, we really realized that we need to be there for each other. Like, we're not going to have anyone else other than each other. So we definitely got closer, and closer in the sense that we're able to, like, talk about our feelings. Mm-hmm. Whereas a year ago, 2 years ago, my sister and my brother would not be the first person that I reach out to when I need to, like, vent. Yeah, like, you become a lot tighter as a family. I feel like when you lose someone really important in your life. And I've also come to realize we also are very emotional in different ways, and we also process our feelings very differently. Like she mentioned, she was very, like, openly emotional. My brother, he was emotional, but kind of, like, shoved himself in a room and didn't want people seeing. I feel like I'm not emotional either. Like, I don't show emotion. I also don't like to, I don't know how to explain it.
You're a mix of both of us.
I'm a mix of both of you guys. And, like, I think for me, it's like, I just felt like seeing you so emotional, seeing everyone else so emotional, I felt like naturally I had to be so strong. I shouldn't have been. I felt I should have just let it all out. If you have been through it, like, I'm sure you guys can relate, but if you feel like you need to be strong and you shouldn't let out tears because you want to be strong for other people, like, you should let yourself go.
Yeah, like you should don't bottle up your emotions.
It's so bad for you. Like, I did that for months. It really does affect and take a toll on your mental health.
Like, I guess even right now when we're talking about this topic, the thing that runs in the back of my head is like, I don't feel like, you know, our mom passed away. Like, we still feel like she's still here.
Like, we're in denial, pretty much.
We're still in denial. And I feel like that's the thing with grief, is that there are like multiple phases. Being in denial is one of those phases. So even till this minute, even though it has been a year, like, in a way we are in denial.
And that's one thing that, like, if you've been through the same thing, you need to realize, like, it's okay if you have not accepted the passing. At some point you have to, in order for you to kind of move forward. And then again, you may never move forward. Like, and that's also okay.
I think I have accepted that it has happened and that she's no longer like physically here. Especially after that 1 year, like, so basically if you're Hindu and you're Hindu Tamil, I guess, like, when it's the first death anniversary, you do this puja, and we just had ours like the end of November. And I think that was like the day where I'm like, okay, this is it. It has happened. Because, like, you know, I took it in that, okay, this is going to be what we're going to be doing every single year on her death anniversary going forward. But at the same time, because I accepted it, doesn't mean I feel like, you know, like, I'm not emotional about it, or I don't think she's here. I definitely feel like she's here. Some part of her is still in here. It's just that she's not physically here. It's kind of like she's here, like, she's invisible, but she's still here, you know? This whole experience, I don't know. It's something very interesting.
It was really tough because we've never experienced a loss like this in our...
Yeah,
obviously, like, it's our mom. Like, there's no one that could be anywhere similar to your mom. Yeah. But I think, like, just even in our family, like, we've never had, like...
an immediate
a grandparent
member,
or any immediate family member, like any
grandparent,
like,
we did, but it's just that we were
so
babies,
much
younger.
Though.
We didn't know what this whole thing was.
No, but like so what I'm saying is, like, we weren't close enough to anyone to know what it really feels like to experience that loss. So it's like it really hit us hard. Me, my brother, my sister, we all had a different relationship with my mom, and it's just like,
even though we had a different each one of us had a different relationship with our mom, we were like this. Like, we were so close to our mom.
You know what it is? I'm not saying everybody doesn't need a dad. Everyone needs a dad too, but it's just when it's your mom, it's like,
I don't know.
You can't compare your mom to anybody, I feel like.
Yeah, you can't. It's
not saying that those of you who may have lost a father, it's not the same thing. Of course, it's just as traumatic, but I'm just saying, like, it's like, there's certain things that we're never going to be able to, like, have, like, with our mom. Like, you know, there's so many things I think of, like, I don't know.
I don't know. I could give an example. Like, one of the things that I have always been thinking about, even till this minute, and I told you about it, like, after my mom passed away, is that, like, you know, for example, in the future when I'm pregnant and I have to give birth, like, I'm always gonna feel like my mom's missing. Like, at that moment in my life, I would want my mom to be there, and I'm not gonna have that, you know? Like, those are the type of things that I guess, like, us being daughters, like, we would want our mom there with us at those times. For example, for you, like, you getting married, your wedding, you know? Like, you'll miss Amma there, and then it's, like, Aaron's wedding. Like, there's so many more occasions where we would want our mom to be there, and then she won't be there, you know?
I guess the whole point of us even talking about these thoughts is, like, these thoughts make the grieving process even harder, because it's like you start to think about what you're gonna miss out on now in life. More than thinking about what I was missing out on, I think for me especially, I was thinking about the regrets that I had, and the regrets of, like, you know, not spending more time with her, because I was never a homebody prior to the pandemic. And honestly, for me, like, I feel like the pandemic just made the grieving process even harder for me. I don't know about you.
No, I'm gonna 100% agree.
Because in my head, it's like, I always, like, after she passed, I had so much regret for not spending time with her, or spending enough time with her. Like, I was also on a month-long trip a month before she passed. 10 days before she passed. And I only had those 10 days. And I think every single time, like, people always say, and this is another thing, people always say, like, think about the good times, but it's like, it's so hard not to think about the regrets. It's for me, it's all I could remember. Like, I cannot think about the good times, because all I can think about is the last 10 days that I had with her when I came back from my trip. And it's just like, I feel like I did not spend it properly with her. It's like, I wish I could have spent it differently. It's normal to have regrets. I'm not saying it's good to have them. It's not, but I'm just saying how I feel. It sucks.
Regrets, it's part of the grieving process. 3 months after our mom passed away, we were on lockdown and we were forced to stay at home.
I think that for me just hit me even harder, because it's like, I already had regrets that I didn't spend enough time with her. And then I had all this time to be at home and she's not there. The first 6 months, I want to say, it was hell for me. Like, I think I cried myself to sleep every single day for like 6 to 7 months straight. There's not a day I missed, because that's the one thing I would think about. I'm like, given the circumstance where I have all this time to be home, no work, and I'm just literally sitting at home, it's like I wish she was there. I would have spent all the time in the world with her. I would have done anything with her.
So for me, like, I even thought, oh, like the day before she passed away, I was like talking to her on the phone when I was driving home from work, and I was like, damn it, I should have just got off the highway and went and visited her, right? Like, this was like the night before it happened. And I used to like think, okay, like, why didn't I go visit her, you know? Like, I used to have all these questions in my head and all these regrets, but
there's gonna be the constant, oh, I could have done this, I could have had extra time with her, I could have done this, I could have done that. There's always gonna be that.
The good thing that kind of helped me out is that, like, you know, my husband, he went through the same situation. Like, you know, his father passed away a couple years ago, so he had like the experience of like losing a parent, and I feel like at times we are able to have conversations a lot about this, and you know, he was able to share with me how he felt. I kind of always like run to him if I'm like feeling upset or if I cry. Like, he was always there to help me. And the same thing for you, like, given the fact that, like, you know, I had someone close to me there for me and you had someone close to you there for you, what I realized after this whole experience is like how important family is.
And I know I speak on behalf of my entire family when we say this. We're really grateful that we had the best family members to, you know, family and friends there for us to support us, because if I didn't have my family and my friends, I really don't know what I would have done.
During this situation, like, I don't think my family would have been able to come through this without all of our family members there.
My heart goes out to people who don't have that, because like I said earlier, I really don't know what we would have done if we didn't have, you know, the people that we needed around us.
Yeah.
Because right now, especially given the current like situation, like the pandemic, like there's so many people that are unfortunately, like, you know, leaving the world, and like they're not able to be with their families, and their families are not able to grieve with, you know, extended families and friends. It makes me really sad.
Yeah,
because we know how much we needed that.
I never realized how many people like my mom knew of my mom, like, until we were in this situation, you know, like
but that's also kind of what made me a little upset. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there were so many people who showed up to like my mom's funeral who, you know, talked about her as if they've known her for like years, but you know, like, I've never seen them around for years. Like, I don't even know who they are.
Yeah,
it's like,
see, that's the thing, like,
it kind of made me realize it's just like, why don't we check up on the people that we love? Like, why don't we, like, and that's exactly what made me feel like, you know what, like, I need to make more of an effort with like my friends and my family, because I don't want to be that person. Like, I don't want to be, you know, someone that just shows up to a funeral just for, you know, like, I knew the person so well, but like I was just like never made the effort to, you know, check up on them or talk to them or see them or whatever. Like, I felt like my mom had so many people like that. I think that's just like a takeaway from this experience. It's like, if you love someone in your life, whether it's a friend, family member, anything, and like you would be hurt to the core if something ever happened to them, like, you need to think about that, and like you need to reach out to them and check up on them. You don't have to check up on them every day, but just occasionally, you know. Like, I don't think I can handle having these regrets again.
It's just always gonna be there. It's permanent. Like, no matter, like, you know, we think about our parents. Like, Amma has always like emphasized how much she misses her mom. Same thing with Appa. Like, he always emphasizes how much he's missed his mom. And like, you know, our parents are like, you know, a lot older, and they lost their parents so much longer ago, but that loss still came with them even till this day, you know. It's never gonna leave us. We thought there's gonna be things that are always gonna trigger us along the way that are gonna keep reminding us about it, but
triggers. Speaking of triggers,
that's just part of life. Yeah, triggers. When you go through something like this, anything and everything triggers you.
It's so messed up. It's a word, something as simple as a word can trigger me. Like, the moment someone drops the word like die, or like,
it's not even like that,
or like hospital, or like mom, or like just something that's as simple as those words, like, I get triggered. Like,
for her, it could be like, for you, like, you just said stuff that's directly related
no,
to it, right?
like, it's even unrelated.
Yeah, like for me, if I'm like really stressed out at work, and I'm stressed in general, that triggers me. Like, I'll just naturally go to thinking about my mom. Like, it could be something totally unrelated. Sometimes while I'm cooking, like, I'll get triggered when I'm looking at my food going, oh, like, you know, I can't show my mom this. So it's just like little things. Everything and anything triggers you. But I don't know, from what I'm thinking, I guess that improves over time. Comparing myself from how I was last year till now, I do see an improvement in myself. Like, I felt like I was so, like, vulnerable to anything and everything, like, after Amma's death. Like, I was so weak.
Something to keep in mind is if you need to take time off of work or whatever the hell it is, you should take it. But at the same time, because we're the complete opposites. She took time off work. I jumped right back into work because I had to distract myself. Like, I couldn't be just sitting at home and doing nothing. Like, I remember a lot of you guys were messaging me saying, oh my God, it's so good to see you back so soon. But for me, it's like, I just couldn't sit at home. Like, I had to do something. Like, I had to pick up my makeup brushes and do a look or something.
Everyone's, like, I guess coping strategy is different. For me, it was like sleeping. You know, sometimes I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to be away from everything. And then, you know, for her, for example, she likes to work because that drifts her mind off thoughts, right? Her coping mechanism last year is like my coping mechanism now. Like, it took me a while to develop that. Like, I'm that person that wants to distract myself from those thoughts, and I keep myself occupied by doing other things. But last year I was not like that.
And that's okay. Like, you don't have to do what other people are doing. Like, you just have to do what your mind and your body are telling you to do. Like, I was just sitting on my bed. I was just lying in bed. Like, that's all I was doing. Then I started working, and then I hit a period where I just didn't even want to work again. Like, I was just up and down, up and down. Like, 2020 for me was the year of, like, a lack of motivation. I don't think I've been as inefficient as ever. This year was, like, and it might sound surprising to some people because I have been making, like, moves in my career. But in terms of just productivity and stuff like that, like, it hasn't been that great. And a huge reason why is because I've just been unmotivated and I'm always thinking about my mom. 2020 has probably been the best year for my career. You know, I was selected to be on Sephora Squad. I developed a relationship with a lot of brands to the point that I'm getting a lot of brand opportunities. And there's so many opportunities that just, you know, presented itself. And to me, the year, it just didn't make sense. It's like, why this year? Why the year after my mom passed? Why is she not here to experience this happiness with me? So for a lot of these things, I just couldn't be like 100% happy. I just felt like there was something missing. I don't think I've shared this, but like, I know my mom loved that I did makeup. She loved that I was creating content because the reason I'm even doing makeup and like I have a relationship with makeup is because of my mom. When we were younger, she used to work at the Mac and Estee Lauder warehouse. So she would be the one that's always bringing makeup in the house. She would also have a huge interest in makeup and just, she loved doing her makeup too. So that's where my relationship with makeup started. And I give all credit to why I'm doing, like, she's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. But so it was like really tough for me to just accept and like be happy. I just felt like I couldn't really enjoy the successes that I have, you know, experienced this year because she's not here. And I'm sure many of you guys can probably relate.
Sometimes when certain things happen, I'm like, oh, okay, like Amma did that.
I definitely have been getting signs. I'm definitely being blessed by her because, like I said, the number of opportunities that I've been getting this year, 100%, like, I feel like it's my mom giving it to me.
Yeah.
Like, even on her 1-year anniversary, that's the day that Makeup by Mario commented on my video. Like, how, like, and I had posted my video 2 days prior. It just didn't make any sense to me. It was just weird. Why would it happen on that day out of all days? Why didn't it, like, it's, I don't know.
Yeah, like the same thing happened to me when I got my job offer was on my 1-year wedding anniversary.
Yeah, it's just,
like, I just felt like it was like a gift that she had given me, or, you know.
In the beginning, like, you know, the day she passed, the day before, she was there. The day she passed, she's not there anymore. So it's like I felt like I was seeing her. Like, I literally could still see her sitting on the couch. I saw her in my backyard just putting clothes on the string.
Yeah.
I saw her in the kitchen. Like, I felt like I was actually seeing her. And then as the months were going by, it's like either because I'm not thinking about her every single minute, I felt like I wasn't seeing her. And that started to make me upset because I was like, I don't want to forget her. I felt like I was forgetting her. I was like, I don't want to forget her.
Believe it or not, we actually have not changed anything clothes that she would wear regularly at home, like her home clothes, they're still folded in the basket. Like, we haven't changed anything in this house. Like, I know some people, like, you know, they want to forget about things and move on, so they, like, get rid of clothes and stuff.
I think in the beginning we were like that. Like, my dad was pretty adamant on wanting to move.
I still feel like she lives here only because all of those things are there. So I was very particular on keeping things the way it was. This was the house that my mom spent most of her life in. Our memories with her is trapped in this house, and we don't want to change that. We don't want to get rid of that. Nowadays, like, if I ever feel upset, like, I don't really resort to crying first thing. I love to write. So I love writing about my mom. I love telling stories, and I feel like my mom is, like, a very important story that, you know, like, I'd love to, you know, share with people. Like, I started journal writing, like, last year. I always write out my thoughts. And then, like, a few months from then, I'll go back and I'll read.
Every single time I felt triggered or I felt emotional or something, I have, like, a whole diary thing in my phone that I write to my mom.
Yeah.
I write as if I'm talking to her. And I feel like it's so therapeutic. Like, I just released all the feelings that I felt. And I felt like she heard me. Like, it's weird to explain, but I would really recommend, like, if you guys feel like you can't talk to someone, and
like, I feel you want to vent to someone, but you don't want to talk to someone about it, like, write it out. Like, you get that same sort of relief. It's also a way for you to see your personal growth or your change over a period of time, right?
I'm not going to sit here and act like a therapist, because I'm not. And I don't really know of the best coping strategies, because I'm still figuring out how to cope. It's still very early for us. Like, I'm speaking on behalf of myself.
Yeah.
But, like, for me, I write, I work, I read, I watch videos. I pretty much cope with, like, the distractions. Like, it's bad because it still allows me to bottle up my feelings, but I think the main thing is I write. I try my best when I'm feeling something to talk to Nadoon. I try to talk to friends who have been through the same thing. And this is another thing. A part of this video, I want it to be directed to people who haven't necessarily been through the same thing and want to be a good support. I feel like the thing with experiencing a loss of a loved one, unless you've been through it, you will never understand. And so I don't feel like you should try and sound like you understand, because the reality is you don't. And
that's just not with even this topic, though. Anything in general.
Yeah.
Any incident.
But I'm just saying, like, I'm very grateful for all the people who have reached out to me, all my friends, all my family who, you know, I've been able to talk to and vent to and just cry to and things like that. But it's like, I personally find comfort from people, even if they're a stranger, who have been through the same thing as me, because it's just that feeling of knowing that they could relate and they understand the feelings that I'm not able to express properly. So just advice, like, if you feel like you're unable to talk to someone, like, maybe reach out to someone who has been through the same thing, who you know of, or if you don't know of anyone, like
a therapist.
Yeah, like, honestly, it's something that I definitely want to do and I'm gonna look forward to doing post-pandemic. I know therapy sounds like something that you don't want to do. It's especially for men. Men don't like going to therapy, I've noticed. But therapy is therapy for a reason. It really helps you understand your feelings. It really helps you figure out ways to express yourself better and just, you know,
and the thing
look
is,
at
like,
life differently. So I definitely would consider it.
And the thing is, like, you're gonna be speaking to someone who doesn't know you, has no idea about you.
They're not biased.
They're not gonna be biased. They're not gonna judge you because they don't know you.
The reality is, I don't think you can really move on from the passing of someone very important to you, someone so close to you. Like, you can live on, like, life, but, like, I don't think you can actually move on from the actual passing of the person. That will always live with you. It's just something that's just gonna, like she said, it's gonna be a hole in your heart, and you just have to kind of navigate life with that. Just remember, like, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to, you know, feel the way you feel. It's okay to be emotional. It's okay to be sensitive. It's okay to feel like you don't even, like, I had feelings of not wanting to be here. Like, it sounds so depressing, but, like, I actually felt like Why am I here? This is not something that I've ever talked about with someone, but my why was attached to my mom. Like, I wanted to do so many things in life for my mom. So the moment she left, it's like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Why, what am I,
purpose.
I did lose my purpose. And it's like, it's so hard for me to navigate and try to figure out life. I'm still struggling, but it is what it is. That's just life. I'm gonna have to figure it out. I know she wants me to be happy. She wants me to be successful, and so for her, like she said, I literally do everything every day for her, like, because I know she's blessing me from above and she wants me to be successful. She wants me to be happy. So I'm literally doing it for her.
Everything and anything that I do is going to be for Allah. Whether it's like my career, whether it's like, you know, the way I am, or like just anything, just everything, I think about like Allah before I do it.
It's important to just find ways to release your emotions. I think that's like the biggest thing for me, whether that be talking to, you know, people in your support circle. Like, support systems is so important. Like, I can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
Like, don't shut yourself down. Like, don't shut away people. Don't push people away when they're offering a shoulder to cry on. Like, I think I did that, especially with Nadoon. I'm so thankful that he was there for me, because there were moments that we could not like support each other because we couldn't support ourselves. So to have our partner, especially us, we were very lucky we had our partners to lean on. I know everyone is not going to have a partner, but you have to talk to somebody, whether it's a stranger, therapist, anybody in your life. Talk to somebody. It really, really, really does help. If you are on the other side, if you are the person that's trying to be there to support, you kind of have to be a little patient.
Yeah, you have to be a listener.
You have to be a listener. Like, this whole process, it really took a toll on my relationship. But the passing of my mom really affected him too, because he not only was grieving the loss of like my mom, because he got to know her, he was close to her, but he was also having to deal with my emotions and the effects of my emotions. Like, I know it's not even that important. Like, it shouldn't be important if you're the person grieving, but it's important to show appreciation, because like they're kind of like experiencing the loss secondhand, and it's like they won't understand how to navigate it. If you're on the other side and you're the person being supportive, you need to know when to back up and give space. Sometimes we don't want to feel okay. Like, sometimes I just want to feel like shit. Sometimes I just want to lie in my bed and like feel depressed. Like, that's something that Nadoon didn't understand. Like, he wanted to be the person every single time that I cried to. There were moments where I felt comfort from my sister and from my cousins over him, because when I see my sister, I see my mom. When I see my cousins, I see my mom, because they're all related to her, right? And there's moments where he didn't understand that. He got upset. He's like, how come you feel like you can talk to them but not talk to me? I see my mom in them. I think that's what that's what I mean by comfort. What I'm trying to say is, if you are that person that's trying to support a friend or family member, a loved one, or a girlfriend or boyfriend that has lost somebody, just be respectful and you have to be patient. You have to try to be understanding. The last thing you want to do is add on to the stress and add on to the emotions that person is already feeling.
I guess when you're married and this happens, it's a little bit different, because it's like you're living with that person. And then for us, we were newly married. So it's just like, it definitely did take a toll on our marriage. There's only so much that someone can handle about someone that's feeling so down and so upset. You know, sometimes you do get those frustrations in relationships that you can't avoid.
We have that a lot. If you're the person supporting, just be mindful and just give some space.
Yeah, the best thing is to have space. For sure.
And on the flip side, if you're someone that is grieving, try your best to communicate. But at the same time, it's like the feeling of, I'm allowed to feel this way. I'm allowed to be a bitch. I'm allowed to do this because I'm the one going through it and no one understands my feelings. Like, it's like dual feelings. Like, I feel this way, but I feel this way. I feel this way, but I know I shouldn't feel this way. I know I shouldn't treat him that way. But it's like, there's so many things, but then also the feeling of, I'm allowed to be like this. It's such an emotional roller coaster, honestly. Like, yeah,
like you're basically an emotional wreck. You know, one day you'll feel happy, you'll feel normal, the other day you'll feel so sad, so depressed. This past year, I think we try to make the best of what type of circumstance we were given. Change of environment is probably another good thing for you to do. You know, like, obviously...
if that's what you need. I'm okay. I feel like I don't need a change of environment. I feel like I'm okay to be here. Whereas, like, my brother, I feel like he really struggles, and he's really affected by my mom's passing, so occasionally we'd send him to my sister's house because we see a change in his mood and things like that. So it really depends on you as a person. If you feel like your mental health is being affected by the fact that you're in that same space, get out. Like, go stay somewhere else if you can, at another family member's house, like, if you have that like luxury of staying somewhere else.
Here's a question I have for you. What's your thought process of death now that you experienced the death of someone that's so close to you.
Death is inevitable. We're all gonna leave this earth one day.
There's so many things that we probably were raised not to think about, right? Like, it's not like Amma and Appa taught us, oh, like, you know, when someone passes, this is what happens. Like, we only know it because we've attended funerals or, like, you know, we've heard of it, right? But how to deal with that, that's not something you're taught until it happens,
I also
right?
think that that's something that's lacking in our community.
Yeah.
Like, especially, like, our parents' generations, like, with what they've been through coming from a country that, you know, there was a civil war happening. Like, they left there was a lot of trauma attached to their lives.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like they weren't taught to do that, and so they didn't teach us how to do that.
Like, for me, death, I feel like that was, like, probably one of my biggest fears, like, accepting it, dealing with it. And I feel like if there is one person that I was always scared to lose, it would be Amma. The most important person in my life, something that I was scared to lose. I feel like the way I perceive death is so much different from how I thought of it before Amma passed. Like, something that I was always scared of, scared to accept, scared to deal with, I'm not as scared to accept it anymore.
I feel like for me, I don't know if my mind and my body can handle another passing of somebody that I know. I can't even think about it. Like,
yeah.
It scares me every day.
You literally want to live every moment of your life to the fullest. Anything can happen any minute, right? I try to do things, like, for example, for my dad that I wasn't able to do for my mom. Like, I literally feel like whatever I would want to do for my mom at this point that I wasn't able to do, like, I try to fulfill that through other people, whether I do it for my brother, whether I do it for my sister, whether I do it for my dad, you know? Just seeing that joy in their faces, like, I feel like it's the same joy I would see if I was doing it for my mom. Obviously, we're speaking on behalf of, like, the child's perspective of losing a parent. You losing your partner is a whole other different feeling. Like,
yeah,
like,
I mean, we can't really speak on behalf of Appa, but
yeah,
like,
we can't speak on behalf of our dad, but just by seeing what he's going through and how it's impacted him, like, that's a whole other story. And, like, you know, being his children, like, the best we could do is just be there for him and, you know, not make him feel lonely. Every
single occasion you experience after someone in your life passes, it's gonna be the toughest occasion. Like, right after my mom passed, it was Christmas 2 weeks after. Like, we couldn't even think about Christmas. Then 3 weeks after my mom passed was my birthday. After my birthday was my dad's anniversary, like, my parents' anniversary. After the anniversary was my mom's birthday. Right after my mom's birthday was my dad's birthday. After dad's birthday was Mother's Day. After Mother's Day was Father's Day. After Father's Day with all sorts of birthdays, and it's Aaron's birthday, your birthday, now we're back here. So every single month there was some sort of occasion where she was, like, an important person that was missing in our house, like, our home. And it was tough for me, especially because, and I'm sure Aaron can agree, like, we've celebrated some of our birthdays without our parents, like, because we found it so much more important to celebrate with our friends.
Oh, I never did that.
Well, yeah, because she was a homebody. Like, the birthday before, prior to this year's birthday, I was celebrating with my friends. I didn't celebrate with my parents. And it's crazy now, like, I realize after my mom passed how important my family is to me. Like, family over everything, honestly, for me. Like, obviously my extended family too, but specifically my dad, my sister, my brother. It's like, I cannot picture celebrating or cutting a cake for my birthday without them, no matter where I am, no matter how old I am. Like, it's crazy how much your perspective on life changes after someone passes in your life. Like, especially my mom's birthday was really hard because we decided that we wanted to cut her a cake even though she's not here. But it's just, like, having to look at her photo and sing happy birthday it was fucked up.
Yeah, like, I cried.
Like, we all cried. Yeah. Like, it was hard.
Because,
like,
my mom loves cake. And, like, yeah, my mom loves
She's a fiend.
cake.
Like, and I used to wonder, like, why am I such a fiend? Like, where did I get it from? My mom, oh my god. Like, I could buy a whole box of apple strudels.
Remember the maple...
like, those pastries, bro, they would be gone in, like...
Remember my maple pecan Danish?
Hours. Yeah. She finished the whole box. But yeah, she loves cake, and it's like, so for that reason, we always, like, cut a cake for whatever occasion it is, even though she's not here. And it's tough, but...
Yeah.
We do it in her memory, and, like, we still act and feel like she's here.
Yeah.
They want you to be happy. They want you to live life how you would live it if they were here. Mm-hmm. And it's just remembering that and just moving on with life that way. I'm not saying move on from them. I'm saying move on with your life. Like, live your life.
Yeah, and you have to, like, you know, I guess carry the legacy.
Yeah.
Wrapping up this whole year, don't really know what else to say. It was a tough year, that's for sure.
I've realized there's so many people that feel what I feel based on the messages that I get. I was speaking to so many people who have lost their mom or dad 15, 20 years ago, who still feel what I'm feeling. And it's crazy to me. And it honestly, it's not something that I'm looking forward to, because I don't want to be feeling this way in 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
But the reality is you may feel that way. Life is short. Don't focus your energy on things that don't matter. Put all your energy into your loved ones who are there for you from day one. Life's too short to give a flying F about what other people think. Don't let people dictate how you should feel. If you are grieving, you should grieve on your own terms. For me, it's like when I post now anything related to my mom, it's to help people through this grieving process. Do what you have to do. Do what makes you feel like what's best for you. Like, don't listen to anybody else. Whether that's holding your feelings in, whether that's writing on your phone, whether that's venting to somebody on the phone, but whether it's going to a therapist, do what you feel is going to be beneficial and right to you, because you're the only person that will understand how you truly feel.
I just feel like just going through this experience made me so much stronger than ever.
They say you don't know how strong you are until you're actually put in a position to be as strong as you possibly can be. And that was us this entire year. The loss of a loved one is very hard, but I don't know how to word this in a better way, but it's not the end. It's going to be hard. It will be hard,
but it gets better.
In terms of moving on with your life and just doing regular things again, it does get better. You'll get back into your routine. You should try to take baby steps, right? But move at your own pace. Honestly, we can go on and on for days, but this is just to give you, like, a lot of you guys asked, like, what our experience was like. This is just a little bit of it. If you feel like you lost purpose, like, do it for them. They would want you to be happy and successful. They want you to live your life.
Yeah, like that person is what fuels all your energy.
Yeah, that's my motivation to get out of bed every single day. These are just our experiences and, like, some tips some pieces of advice on how to navigate this whole process. Everyone's experience is different. You may not even be able to understand what we're saying. I just want this to help in some way.
Yeah.
Like, I'd hope that you are able to take something away from this video. This was, in a way, this was very therapeutic, I feel like. Thank you for coming on this video and talking to everybody with me.
You're welcome.
If you guys enjoyed this video, then make sure to let me know, or let us know your feedback and your thoughts. And if there's any other questions that you may have related to this topic, then please don't hesitate to reach out to me or her.
Yeah, or if there's, like, something specific within this topic that you want us to talk about, like, we don't mind talking about it.
Until my next video, I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys. Yes.
Plenty.
Plenty.
Why did we sound like an idiot?